The war in the Middle East is causing unprecedented disruption to global oil and gas supply, which is pushing up fuel prices for Australian consumers and businesses. While Australia is not a participant in this conflict and is calling for de-escalation, like every nation on earth, our country is feeling and cannot escape its economic shockwaves. Yet conflict overseas is not a reason to exploit Australians. So the government is taking action to shield Australian families from the worst of this crisis, securing fuel supply for Australia and doing what can responsibly be done to address price spikes. New laws this week cut the fuel excise tax by half on petrol and diesel for the next 3 months. This will reduce the cost of fuel by 26.3 cents per litre. To help truckies continue their vital work, the heavy vehicle road user charge will be cut to 0 for 3 months and the next scheduled increase deferred by 6 months. An international crisis is not a commercial opportunity, and new laws double penalties for petrol companies caught price gouging and empower the ACCC to issue on-the-spot fines. To help stabilise the market, the release of 20% of Australia's fuel reserves has begun. Petrol and diesel standards have been changed to get more fuel flowing, including keeping the fuel made in Australia's refineries here in Australia. Refineries are able to access government support now when they need to run at a loss to keep fuel flowing. Critical new laws passed this week provide government support for importers to secure additional fuel cargoes and other vital strategic reserves such as fertiliser and plastics as needed. The Prime Minister is engaging with international partners to keep supply flowing, including securing a supply deal with Singapore. Right now, Australia's fuel supply remains strong. Most Australians can access fuel, although there are distribution issues in some areas due to unprecedented spikes in demand. The new National Fuel Supply Task Force, led by Anthea Harris, is tasked with keeping fuel moving to where Australians need it most. $1 billion has been made available in loans to farmers and truckies to ensure that their work can continue. Looking ahead, while Australia is in a secure position currently, all governments have a responsibility to plan for every scenario, which is why the National Cabinet has agreed to the National Fuel Security Plan to coordinate a consistent response across the Commonwealth and all states and territories, to keep Australia open and the economy moving. The global outlook remains unpredictable and volatile. The longer the conflict in the Middle East goes on, the more significant the impact of this global energy shock will be on the global economy. The National Fuel Security Plan is designed to keep the community and business updated and provide an early understanding if further fuel security measures are required. The plan is guided by 4 levels. Level 1, plan and prepare. That's where we've been. Level 2, keeping Australia moving. This is where we are today. This level means that fuel supply continues to operate effectively, but localised supply disruptions occur. At Level 2, the government is taking precautionary actions to shore up fuel supply, and Australians should only buy the fuel you need. Making voluntary choices to use less and avoid the impact of higher fuel prices. Level 3 would be taking targeted action. At Level 3, the focus would be on getting fuel to where it's needed most and adopting voluntary practical measures to limit fuel use. Level 4, protecting critical services for all Australians. The aim is to not get to Level 4. At Level 4, ongoing global supply disruptions require government action to ensure critical users are protected and the economy remains open and operating. All governments would work together to implement stronger demand measures, making sure fuel is available for critical users, such as life-supporting services, utilities or emergency services. There would be a nationally consistent framework to support the allocation of fuel with clear conditions for when the measures can be relaxed. The key thing now is that voluntary action to use less fuel, together with the new supply measures, can reduce the need for stronger measures. Each stage in the national plan is flexible, not fixed. At times we may move up and down the levels depending on the circumstances. All governments will be closely monitoring the evolving situation and responding to what emerges. Operational plans will be prepared as a precaution in case the global situation deteriorates further. The types of indicators that will inform this work include global market supply conditions and the outlook for fuel arrivals in the coming weeks and months, minimum stockholding obligations, insights and data from industry and major fuel users, retail and distribution trends, and community need and supporting economic activity. Any shift in response levels will include consultation with industries to ensure additional measures are well designed and have the greatest impact. Of course, everyone hopes that the conflict will soon end and that further measures will not be needed. The government will keep Australians updated regularly. You can find out more by searching National Fuel Security Plan on the internet. It's posted on the Prime Minister's website. In the face of the global energy shock, all Australians are in this together. This should be a moment of coming together, not political division, which is how the government will continue to respond to this global crisis. For decades, the free market approach has left Australia dangerously vulnerable to shocks such as the current oil crisis. While the immediate focus is on responding to and shielding Australians from the worst of the current global crisis, the government is also determined to ensure Australia emerges stronger and more resilient and self-reliant than before. I wish you a safe and happy Easter. Easter is a special time for people of the Christian faith and an important chance for everyone to spend time with family and loved ones. Everyone should enjoy their Easter holiday, and it's important that we keep the economy moving and support tourist destinations as normal. I wish you a safe and peaceful Easter.